Hello students, up till now in the poem Dover Beach, we read that how beautifully the poet has described the beauty of the Dover Beach and how he realized that the ebb and flow of the waves is symbolic of human lives, up and downs of human lives. Next, he says, Sophocles long ago heard it on the Aegean and is brought into his mind the turbid ebb and flow of human misery. We find also in the sound a thought, hearing it by this distant northern sea. So here Sophocles was a Greek dramatist from 496 to 406 BC, before Christ. Aegean means Greek, and heard it on the Aegean, and it brought into his mind the turbid that is not clear, ebb and flow, ebb the return of the tide, the return and coming of the tide of human misery. We find also in the sound a thought, hearing it by this distant northern sea. The poet says that Sophocles, who was a Greek dramatist from 496 to 406 BC, he also heard this voice of sea waves at the Greek coast, and he heard the roaring sound of the ebb and flow of the sea waves, and with this sound into his mind the turbid ebb and flow of human misery. He thought of human life that is full of miseries and a few happinesses. So this ebb and flow is representative of sadness and happiness in human life. Sophocles compared the happiness and the sadness of human life, the miseries of human life, with this coming of the waves and the downfall of the waves. We found also in the sound a thought, hearing it by this distant northern sea. So he says that we means the poet and his wife. He says that we also find this kind of sound in this northern sea. We are also listening the same sounds that Sophocles long ago heard at the Greek coast, and we are also reminded of human life that is full of sadnesses. So he says that there is always the up and downs in human life, just as there are ups and downs in the waves of the sea. Next he says, the sea of fate was once too at the full, and round earth's shores lay like the folds of bright girdled furled. But now I only hear its melancholy long withdrawing roar, retreating to the breath of the night wind down the vast ages, drear and naked shingles of the world. The sea of faith was once too at the full, and round earth's shores lay like the folds of bright girdle means belt. Folds are the layers. Furled means wrapped up. But so the poet says that he is reminded of human miseries when he listened to the roaring sound of the sea. The retreating waves tell him the story of decreasing religious faith. The sea of faith was once too at the full. The poet says that the people were faithful once, but now the people were full of faith to the God once, but now they are not. The retreating religious faith surrounded man's life lay like the folds of a bright girdled fold. This religious faith surrounded man's life in olden days like a bright folded belt. But now I only hear its melancholy long withdrawing roar retreating to the breath of night wind down the vast edges, drear and naked shingles of the world. But now the world has changed. The poet says that, but now I only hear its melancholy long withdrawing roar. He listen, but its melancholy long withdrawing roar retreating to the breath of night wind down the vast edges, drear and naked shingles of the world. Shingles means loose gravels and pebbles on the shore. Drear means dull. The poet says that once the people were full of faith. Everyone has a great faith in God. So this faith was like the belt. Religious faith was like a belt, bright folded belt to every person. But now I only hear its melancholy long withdrawing roar. But now in this modern world, people have lost their faith in God and in humanity, and the only sound that can be heard is the sound of melancholy, the sad sounds retreating to the breath of night wind down the vast ages, drear and naked shingles of the world. This world is now, the shore of the world is now full of naked pebbles, and the whole world has become dull. The poet says that the faithless world of today appears as cheerless as the naked pebbles of the seashore when the waves have ebbed away. Ah, love, let us be true to one another, for the world which seems to lie before us like a land of dream, so various, so beautiful, so new, hath really neither joy nor love nor light nor certitude nor peace nor help for pain. And we are here as on a darkling plain swept with confused alarms of struggle and flight, where ignorant armies clash by night. So this last stanza of the poem states that the whole modern world is full of confusion, and the people are struggling with each other for the small things of life. Ah, love, let us be true to one another. He says, he asked his beloved to be true to one another, for the world which seems to lie before us like a land of dreams, so various, so beautiful, so new, hath really neither joy nor love nor light nor certitude. So he says that the world that is lying before us is like a land of dream. The world that we have in our imagination is only a world of dreams, so various, so beautiful, so new, hath really neither joy nor love nor light. He says that man hopes many things from this world, that this world should be a beautiful place. He will be able to be perfectly happy here, but this is a delusion, and man is psychologically subject to. This world is not as beautiful and as refreshing as the poet and his beloved is thinking about it. Hath really neither joy nor love nor light nor certitude nor peace nor help for pain. He says that here in this modern world no one can find joy, love, conviction, peace and help in the pain by other person, and we are here as on a darkling plane. So this world is just a battlefield swept with confused alarms of struggle and flight, where ignorant armies clash by night. And he says that the people are fighting with each other. He says that man struggles with each other, not realizing the need for understanding and peace. And just as the two armies fight with each other without any purpose, just to win for their leader, in the same way people are fighting with each other in this dark world where friends and enemies are unrecognizable. No one can recognize who is the friend and who is the enemy, because this world is a dark battlefield according to the poet. So if there is any consolation in this world, that can only come from the lovers becoming true to each other. The poet entreats it from his beloved. So the poet says that this world is full of selfishness, full of cleverness and full of all the bad things of life, and the only consolation is that the lovers should be true to each other. So he asked his wife, his beloved, to be true to himself, and he promised to be true with her. So he is very much worried about the present condition of the world, and the poet wants men to recognize the reality that what they are doing.